Okay, all this is part 2 because I did pause it to take a call from my boss since I am working, and I guess you can only pause it for so long because then it cut off the video. So yes, so I'm talking about, I don't even remember at this point, but one of the things my singles group, there a couple of things, because it's getting close to the holidays, was if it was an adults only party, what would you put in the piñata? And I was like, oh, liquor, scratch offs, not that I use them, but maybe edibles. And there was so many crazy things, like Viagra. Some guy had these penis pops. Someone had penis gummies. And these were men that suggested these things. Viagra, what else? I don't even remember. Liquor was the common one, but I don't remember all the other things, but whatever. And what else? The other question was, because Thirsty Thursdays, so they ask questions, of course, risque. Nah, I shouldn't say so risque. They're adult questions. And one was, where's the craziest place you've ever done it? And were you ever caught? And then, but today's, and I'll answer, yes. The craziest place, I don't know. JCPenney dressing room, Home Depot parking lot, the behind the IHOP, did get caught there. Cop knocked and said, move it along. So he could have been a jerk. And Home Depot was after hours, but a cop could have drove through. I think it's the whole thrill and the excitement of actually getting caught. So today was, do you prefer a quickie in public or a marathon session of sex in private? And so a lot of people put both, and some people put a quickie will lead to a marathon session, a quickie in public. One guy said, if I really have to have my woman, I will have her. Some are like, no, I'd be too nervous. A guy actually admitted, he said, tried, and I can't perform in a public place. I think it's the fear of getting caught. So some said, oh, a public place, because it would lead to a private marathon session. And it was funny because some women are like, no, I'm too afraid of being caught, and it'd be so embarrassing, and I'd have to call my kids, and or call a family member or a friend. And I wouldn't call my kids, I wouldn't call a family member, I would call a good friend if I got caught. No way. But this is my question, and I've been thinking about it with all these answers, and people are afraid of getting caught, afraid of getting arrested. Would it be, if there was people around, would you be arrested and charged as a sex offender? Like if, say, oh my God, there's somebody sitting on the side of the road in just a regular old chair, not a collapsible chair, on the exit. That was weird. Would it be, because back when my daughter was in grammar school, now this is 7th and 8th, in middle school, junior high, whatever you want to call it. It was only 7th and 8th. So this girl was very upset but because her boyfriend broke up with her. And so she sent a nude picture of herself and said, you will never have this again. So evidently, again, I don't know, depends on whose definition of sex did they have. Who the hell knows? But at that age, wow, I was like, oh my God. And so she sent it to him. He shared it with in a group chat with his friends. And from there, this kid who was very upset over the fact that he shared a private picture. And evidently it wasn't the first picture this girl sent to this kid. And I'm like, sorry, you're in 7th or 8th. My daughter was in 7th grade or 8th. I'm not really sure. I really can't remember if she was 7th or 8th grade. So these kids were charged. Well, he was charged in distribution of pornography. And she was, I think both of them were charged as like the lowest of low, meaning like the lowest tier of a sex offender rather than the highest tier of a sex offender. And there's their lives. Like they have to register as sex offenders. And I don't know if there was, I really didn't look into it too much. I was just like, had a very, very clear conversation with my daughter. I'm like, listen, and even if you're involved with someone, never, ever send a picture. What are these fucking idiots doing? This Tesla was driving on the shoulder, and where did it get him? He was behind me. You're a moron, lady. Oh my God. So when I was talking to my boss, I'm like, oh, there she went up the shoulder. And I don't know what happened because the lane she was in was a turn-only lane. And from there, she must have got back into traffic. And then she just had to get over then. And she came from behind me. So, came from behind me and cut over in front of me. So, USIC. I don't know what the hell that is. But, so, she didn't get very far going up the shoulder. So, I said to her, please, even if you're in a long-term committed relationship with someone, when you're just, oh God, I'm never. I was like, don't say never, because you never know. Just saying. You never show your face. Nothing that could, a distinctive mark, birthmark, anything, do not show it. Because if they can identify you, and this way too, if he shares it, and it could be anybody. So, but think about that too, that he could put it on the internet with, like, he could Photoshop with your face. And I should talk because Frank and I shared pictures. And I'm trying to think. There's guys that, like I said, right off the bat, sending me pictures. And I'm like, but nope, I'm not sending you a picture. Guess their one guy should be very proud. Although, I think I've talked about this before. There was a TLC or one of those, and there was a guy that was, I want to say 12 inches or a little over 12 inches, and he was a short guy. And I was like, he said, I have to wear loose pants. It's very difficult to have a relationship because I can't fully get in a woman, so I can't fully enjoy it. So, like I always say, bigger isn't always better. So, I can't believe 4 hours. Oh, maybe I left it. Oh no, I'm lying. It wasn't 11:30. It was 12:30. I was thinking our bid was at 12, which we did not get. Getting very nervous. We have like 6 or 8 in January at they're looking at a couple more. So I'm hoping. And I just said to my boss, I said to her, I was like, ugh. And then I said, it just means that we're meant to have bigger, better jobs. She said, yes, this wasn't a very big job. So I don't know. And my eyes are itchy. I think because, you know, we've been in the very low 30s, if not high 20s. And now I'm supposed to hit 55. So, okay, rain for rent. I wonder what that means. What does that mean? I don't know. And now I'm going into for oh God, what is that thing on the back of that car? Looks like one of those you know, that a star thing that they throw, like a I don't know, karate or jitsu, whatever it is. Like, it's all pointy all around, but it's like on a straight thing, and the round part is attached, sticking out from the back of the car. I don't know. And it's a Scion. That's the correct way to say it. So, I don't know. It doesn't look like he can pull anything. So, maybe it's just for decoration. Who knows? And I am sitting in this freaking traffic. Please, nobody hit me. My worry isn't because, like, the cars behind me have been staying a distance, but it's the cars behind them if they're not staying a safe distance. And if you leave too much distance, then a car who is waiting till last minute, and that's why this traffic. And there sometimes is a cop that sits here, and oh God, I wish. But, oh, you got in. You were afraid you weren't going to get in. It's a car. I don't know. Might be one of, which I think is moronic. Crossover Mustang. I don't know. A Mustang to me shouldn't be like a mini SUV. So, to me, that's eh. And he has a little U-Haul he's pulling. So, I betcha a lot of these. I don't know. Gonna try to get in. That's what the problem is. Why we're backed up. Ugh, yay. But yes. So getting back to, so it's, and anytime, even Frank, I sent a picture, like we were in a long-term relationship and everything, not my face. It's like, oh, he's like, oh, I want to see your beautiful face. I'm like, nope. And now in FaceTime, but I wonder if somebody could take pictures. I have not done that. FaceTime. It wasn't around when Frank was alive. I wonder if someone can take pictures if you're FaceTiming them, having a good old time with each other, with yourselves, talking to each other. I'm wondering if they could take pictures without you knowing. That is technology, not always a good thing. And the thing I say is, once it's out there in the internet, the wild world web, it's like you can never, ever totally get rid of it. There's just no way. No way. So, and especially guys go right to that, like they sent you, oh, here, now let me see yours. And it's like, no, because if you're doing that, how many people are you doing with that? And you're crazy for sharing that. I mean, most guys, it's just their junk. So you can't, say, oh, this is, you can, I guess, prove by, this is their number, but you cannot, technically prove. And if you share, you're in trouble for sharing. And that's son. I don't know what I was thinking when I left the office, but I didn't put my sunglasses on. I don't know why I didn't. just about to get over. So there was enough. And this Jeep. But, yeah, so it's very pretty, you know, coming off of the water, but it's very bright. And hopefully it melts a lot of this snow. And I do not have my foot on the gas or the brake. And I'm doing 59 because I'm going over the bridge and now it's downhill. And everybody in front of me is braking. So I'm hoping now I'm up to 60. Yep, got a brake. I hate that. Oh, he got over. See? Could have got over before I had a brake, dude. Oh my goodness. So, yes. So I am, like I said, was in a long-term relationship with Frank. I've had many guys, and nope. I have shared guys that I've gone out with several times, and you know, things get to the bedroom. I do have a picture, a couple of pictures, like 3 I want to say, in black. One is in a black lacy bra with a black satin pajamas, and they're kind of buttoned where it's open. And again, you can't see my face, and I'm not nude. It's a sexy bra with the pajamas opened. And then I have a leopard one with satin leopard pajamas. So I have that. And I think the black one I have with the leopard. And that's it. So I did at one point have I still have the bra. So I spent a lot of money for it. It was when I was with Frank. And it was pink lace with, like, it has, like, fake diamonds on it, you know, bling, whatever, randomly. And it's not a very comfortable bra. Frank talked me into getting it. I think it was like $56. We're talking 2012. So it was quite expensive. And talked me into the panties to match. So I think I still have them too. So I don't know. But whatever. So yes. So sometimes my group does. And I like, because Vent Wednesdays, Positive Tuesdays, or is it Positive Wednesdays, and you can there's another post for venting. I don't know, but they make a post once a week for positive posts, and then one from venting, which is nice, because you hear other people, like, things they say if they have to drive, their commute, co-workers, or people in general, or family, or even kids. And one of the things they asked is, what is the oddest or weirdest thing your kids have ever asked for since it's Christmas, you know? And I'm like, I can't think of anything crazy, outrageous. You know what? It's not weird or odd, Mimi. It's unusual. My son asked for a futon for Christmas because he was into gaming then. He still can't play as often as he'd like with the kids, but he asked for the futon to get rid of his bed, and so he could push it up so he could have a bigger bed. He is, you know, a very tall kid, and he could push it up so it would be kind of like a single. When he was playing, his friends came over to a game, because his room wasn't small, but it wasn't big, so it gave him more room when they came over. And so he had that up until I moved 2 years ago, and he asked for that. I don't know if it was 8th. I want to say 8th grade because it was before we went to Florida. So he had it many, many years. I did buy him a new mattress because, and a very good orthopedic mattress, which his dog, with the cover, a waterproof cover, which he did not put on, and then I put it on, and then I don't know. I mean, I think he got rid of it, but he could have put it in his basement. I'm not really sure. And I spent, like I said, a lot of money for a futon mattress, because usually they're very thin. And he had fallen and hurt his back, and therefore he needed a good mattress. So Mommy bought it for him. And like I said, I was very annoyed when they got the puppy, and I was like, I told you. So then I put it on, and then when the dog wet, he took it off. I don't know if I ever went back on. Like I said, I don't know if the mattress went to the garbage or not, and I think I don't want to know with the money I spent on it. So and if anybody would like to comment on anything I talked about, have any questions, I told you I'm an open book, and a lot of times you'll get TMI, like, you know, like today, but there I don't know that I said this to my friend, I don't know that I have the energy right now for like a relationship, to deal with someone. And I was listening to this, it's RTP, Rules of Dating, I think it's called. Quentin is his name. And I really, like, he really hit a nerve, because I don't know, it popped up. I was checking Facebook when I got home from Kohl's, and he came up, one of his videos, and it did say that, you know what, there's one of two things. If there is somebody that you go on a couple of dates, whatever, and they start pulling away, they might be really busy, they might be, whatever, so you back away, and don't totally ghost them. And if they say, hey, sorry, I've been in touch, busy at work, this, that, the other thing, I didn't know if it was too late, whatever, then it shows they're still interested. If they don't, what are you doing? Make a plan to see you again. If they just don't get back to you, they really back way off, then you know what, you deserve better. And don't take anybody treating you badly. Big red flag, he said, someone like loses it, maybe not the first date, and he's like, it'd be a good thing if it was the first date, because then you'd know right away. But say, raise their voice and, oh my God, are you kidding me? Like, what? And you're an idiot, because you almost pulled out in front of me and slammed me. Moron. And he does tell you, text or things to do that'll really, and he's a guy, so it's from a guy's perspective, and I really think, like, most of his advice is great. And it's all things I think we know, or once he says it, we're like, yeah, we really shouldn't we shouldn't have put up with this behavior. We shouldn't have put up, I guess, he's really not that into me, so, but hearing it from someone else, it's like, yeah, I know, I gotta do that. And I'm just going by these. They're melting now because of the warm temperatures today. But there was a lot driving to work and home. Really good snowman that people made. Like, I don't know if it was kids, mom and dad with the kids. I don't know. But really, really good snowman. And who the fuck is at our office? No clue who this is. It's a Honda Pilot. So, but I'm back at my office. So, but yeah, so if you are dating, and he even says you're never too old to date, you know, whatever. So if you can, I'll tag him in this. But I really think really great advice. And sometimes you just need to hear it. Like in your head, you know it, but you just need to hear it. All right. So it's almost 4 o'clock. Holy crap. All right. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.